Hello and welcome in to this midday edition of Locked On Capitals. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. As always, this podcast is free and available on all the major platforms. My name is Dan Holme. You can find me on Twitter. It's at DanCaps218. You can find the show on Twitter. It's at Locked On Cap. So in this midday edition, we talk about the Capitals as they were back at practice at MedStar Ice Complex. The Capitals hope to get back in their winning ways as they fell in their last game to the Boston Bruins, but excitement, in a couple different regards. The fact that Alex Ovechkin was on the ice, Lars, Eller, but the Capitals were back at practice and hope to get going back and going in a good direction. But first off, just some great news on the injury front as Alex Ovechkin and Lars Eller were back on the ice this morning. Now listen, the Capitals have played well in Alex Ovechkin's absence, but it's always great to have the captain back in the mix. And as far as Lars Eller is concerned, he's holding it down at that third line center position. So that is some excitement surrounding this team. Alex Ovechkin rejoined the top line, which we know had great chemistry. And I think there was some question about ultimately how things were going to shake out once Alex Ovechkin returned, as we saw the lines kind of jumbled up a bit in his absence, but it does appear, of course, that he will be on the first line, but the players surrounding him appear to be the same. Ovechkin has rejoined the top line, and there is a real chance that he could be ready to play tomorrow against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We will get official word after practice, but Coach Spencer Carberry has been optimistic, stating that, quote, things are trending in the right direction, unquote, for his return. And a little bit later, I will have a follow-up on what Spencer Carberry had to say. But taking a look at the forward lines, they remained consistent with what we have seen lately. Just as a bit of a refresher, the top trio features Ovechkin, Strome, and Protas. This is a line that has previously shown strong chemistry. I've talked about on the show about Strome and how key he has been in Alex Ovechkin's success, a guy that has kind of picked up the torch from Nick Backstrom. And you know how I spoke in yesterday's show about Alexei Protas, how his game has grown by leaps and bounds. And the second line, McMichael, Dubois, and Wilson. We know that McMichael has played very well on the second line this season with Dubois at center and Tom Wilson. The third line sees Vrana, Eller, and Mangiapane working together. Finally, the fourth line features Duhaime, Dowd, and Radish, with LaPierre and Miroshnichenko ready as extras. And that is going to be an interesting storyline to follow as well. Is what player remains on the roster? Is it going to be LaPierre, Miroshnichenko? You got to think that one of those players is going to get sent down to Hershey. That would be my hunch, and LaPierre has struggled. But even Miroshnichenko, all things considered, has played well with his time on the big team, has stumbled a bit in the last couple games. That was my theory or my thought, if I was the GM, that this would be the perfect opportunity to get a good look at a guy like Ethan Frank. But as far as the blue line, the pair, Sandin teams up with Carlson, Faravari, and Roy, are forming a strong second pair. Chychrun and TVR complete the defensive lineup. Between the pipes, of course, Lindgren and Thompson backing up. So now let's touch on Tom Wilson. As we know, had that broken sinus bone. He's been recovering from that unfortunate broken sinus bone. Well, he's still feeling some lingering symptoms, Wilson mentioned. He did share that he's overall feeling better, and it's great to see that he's on the mend. And a big shout out goes out to Tom Wilson, as he has been huge for the Capitals in Alex Ovechkin's absence. I think he is going to be the captain of this team after Ovechkin hangs up the skates. I don't think that is saying anything too crazy, but, chipped in, scoring goals, and also his leadership has been huge. But the elephant in the room is Alex Ovechkin, just weeks after fracturing his left fibula during that collision against the UHC team. He's making a remarkable comeback It's just been 18 games this season. He racked up 15 goals, leading the league when he got injured. Alongside that, 10 assists for a total of 25 points and a plus 15 rating. So the people that said he's washed, that what does he have left in the tank, I think he is answering that question. And he's still among the league leaders in high danger shots per 60 minutes, and he's on the hunt, as we know, to close in on Wayne Gretzky's all-time record, now just 27 goals shy. Can you guys believe that it is definitely within shooting distance, shall we say? Now, as the Capitals continue to hold their ground and play competitively with a solid record, even in Ovechkin's absence, the anticipation for his return is huge. I think as Capitals fans, that's what we've been waiting for. Dylan Strome noted that the team has been performing well, which bodes well for Ovechkin's integration back into the lineup, especially in the power play, which we know Alex Ovechkin has been clutch. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out for the Capitals. And like I said, ultimately, what player is going to be the player that is on the big team? You take a look at Ethan Frank, just to circle back to that. He has done nothing but kill it for Hershey. He is very fast. And I think that would help answer some of the questions about this team and their need to get quicker. There was a comment from someone on YouTube earlier saying, could you imagine Vrana and Ethan Frank on the same line? That would be quite stunning if you ask me. So taking a look at this team, like I say, the Capitals look to get back in the winning business. You take a look at it, that Bruins game was a very tough pill to swallow. I think the Capitals need to just brush it off. Maybe, take a look at the video footage, figure out what went wrong and how to clean it up, because this team is facing a bunch of games here in short order. We have the Maple Leafs on Saturday, the Red Wings on Sunday, and then the Bruins again on Tuesday. So this can go in two directions. The Capitals can solidify their spot as real contenders in the Metro Division. I know that New Jersey is battling there as well, currently in first place in the Metro. But the Capitals do not want to give up any ground. The last thing we want at this point is for this team to go through some kind of losing streak. That would definitely not be what the doctor ordered. I think it would be an absolute game changer for the Capitals to have Alex Ovechkin back in the lineup. Hopefully he can hit the ground running, that there's no rust or anything of that nature that needs to get knocked off. But it's easy to push that panic button, maybe mentally, to say, this team is trending in the wrong direction. But all things considered, this team hasn't really faced a lengthy losing streak here. So I think the Capitals will brush it off. And if they could win, even a couple games here in this upcoming 3 games here, I think that would really set them up in a great position. All right, once again, I want to thank you for joining me on this midday edition of Locked On Capitals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Dan Holme, and I'll talk to you again next time.